Hi, I'm Cindy Weill, and I make books for kids. I team up with artisans in Mexico to make books about the alphabet, colors, opposites, and counting in English and Spanish. Today I want to talk to you about a family of artists I worked with for one book in particular called ABECEDARIOS. This is a book that teaches the alphabet in English and Spanish using wooden animal figures to represent the letters. The Jimenez family of Weill, Mexico made the art for this book. Later, I'm going to show you how they made this leopard. I started working with the Jimenez family because they make beautiful wooden figures. When I saw their pieces, I thought that using the animal figurines called alebrijes in Spanish would be a great way to teach children in the US and Mexico the alphabet. The Jimenez family first starts by using the wood of the copal tree. This tree grows plentifully on the mountains that surround their village. After taking down the tree and cutting the wood into logs, it's placed in the family's storeroom. Next, Moises Jimenez examines the logs. He says that he can always see the figure he wants to make waiting in the log. To begin the carving process, Moises takes a very long and sharp knife called a machete. Moises cuts the bark off with his knife. Using this very long knife is really dangerous. Only adults can do this. He gets all the bark off of the log and begins to carve the figure. Eduardo, Moises' son, is still too young to use the machete. However, he's allowed to use a small knife to cut in some of the details of the face. You can see some of the details starting to emerge. Later, Moises makes the legs and sees how they look. Moises' brother Armando uses another machete to carve the tail. Once all of the pieces are together, Armando's son, Alejandro, helps his dad sand the leopard so that it is nice and smooth. Later, the leopard must spend some time in the strong Oaxacan sunlight so that all the moisture in the wood is gone before it's painted. Once the leopard is dry, Moises' wife and nephew, Alejandro, put a white coat of paint on the figure. Afterwards, Armando's wife and niece add the leopard's yellow collar. Moises adds facial details and spots. Afterwards, the figure was photographed. That's how it ended up on the cover. The same process happened with every single figure in the book. One important thing I learned when working with these artists is that kids don't go to school to learn how to make alebrijes. They learn by watching and helping their parents. Little by little, they learn all of the steps to make their own alebrijes. Working on a children's book was a brand new experience for the Jimenez family. At first, they didn't understand what we were trying to do. If their children want to hear a story, the parents tell a myth or a legend or a tale that their parents told them. Stories don't come from picture books. Stories are shared through the oral tradition.
What made you want to become a creator of books?
I loved reading so much when I was a kid. It's what I did most of the time. I wrote a lot of my own stories too, and read them to my family. I always knew I'd be a writer.
If you found a whale in your bathtub, what would you do?
If I found a whale in my bathtub, I'd get some books and we'd read them together. Maybe we'd read One Fish, Two Fish, Red Fish, Blue Fish by Dr. Seuss, or Swimmy by Leo Leone. Then we'd splash each other.